The following portion of Daytime is sponsored by Ligori Ligori Attorneys at Law and Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Welcome back to Daytime. If you're making plans for the 4th of July, remember that along with family and fireworks, it's important to keep your celebrations safe while keeping our roads safe too. Mothers Against Drunk Driving is urging everyone to prevent tragedies on the road and avoid drinking and driving. Joining us now with more are Larry Coggins from MAD and Keith Ligori with Ligori and Ligori Attorneys at Law. Gentlemen, welcome to you both.
Thank you. Thank you.
Larry, when we speak about drunk driving, we also have to talk about impaired driving. Correct? It's not just people drinking that's a problem.
Absolutely. It's no longer alcohol, it's impairment, whether it's medicinal marijuana, whether it's illicit drugs, prescription medication. Anything that gets in the bloodstream that causes impairment, we got to stay from getting behind the wheel.
Driving while impaired is 100% preventable. Unfortunately, it's still a huge problem. What are the statistics?
Yeah, it is a violent crime. It's 100% preventable, of course, by just making a decision not to do it. About 3,000 people are killed every year in Florida from all vehicle crashes. About a third of those are always impairment related. We're seeing the same trend across the nation. A little over 10,400 are killed annually across the nation to impaired driving, and that doesn't even take into account the 300,000 to 400,000 people who are left with serious permanent injuries.
Well, we hope that people will make the right decision and not get behind the wheel in that state. But what can we do as drivers on the other end to be prepared for that?
There's really two ways to go about it. First of all, 4th of July weekend coming up, of course. If you're going to have a barbecue or a party or something, be a good host or be a good hostess. Make sure everyone has a designated driver. That's the first thing we can all do. I myself, we don't go anywhere. If we're going to drink alcohol, we take an Uber. Okay, we all have to be responsible. Safety is everybody's responsibility. But then also on the other side is when you come along that driver that is weaving all over the roads and driving erratically and all that, pick up the phone. Star FHP, star 347 or 911 goes to the nearest communication center and dispatches the nearest trooper, officer, or deputy, whatever the case may be, to get that person off the road. You can't simply just say, I hope they get home okay,
right,
or this is my exit, I'm okay. You can't do that. The life you may save may be your own.
That's such good advice. I never thought of that. Because if you see somebody driving erratically, your thought is just to avoid them, but pick up the phone, make a call, report it.
Yeah, this is for all of us. Impaired driving is a public health epidemic, and there's no vaccine for this one. It's just a good decision.
And Keith, you see how families are impacted by drunk drivers. Can you give us some examples in how you help them at Ligori and Ligori?
Yes. What we do is we always make sure the clients have access to us. And then we also sometimes put them in contact with MAD if they need help with victim assistance to make sure they get the help they need. But we also, from a financial standpoint, we make those drunk drivers pay. Because the people we're dealing with have catastrophic injuries, have died in crashes. It has changed people's lives forever. And we're just trying to help the people put the pieces back together so that they can move on in their life. Never forget, but just move on in their life.
It's good to know they have a resource, yeah.
Absolutely.
So we'll end with this. What is your message, both of you, to drivers ahead of the July 4th holiday?
My opinion is drug driving is totally preventable. Use Uber, use Lyft, use a designated driver program. Make sure you're being responsible. And if you can do that, and one other thing with 4th of July, you see a lot of boating accidents too. And that's sometimes also involved in drugs and alcohol. Be responsible. Don't get behind the wheel, no matter if it's a boat, jet ski, car. Don't do it, and just be responsible.
You echo that, I'm sure?
Yeah, absolutely. And Keith brings up the boating, of course. This is the #1 boating capital of the world right here in Florida, in the Bay Area. BUI turns into a DUI, so people need to remember that as well. Nobody leaves the house and says, I'm going to get a DUI tonight, I'm going to hurt or kill somebody. It's just when impairment gets in the bloodstream, logic goes out the window. Plan before you leave.
Larry Coggins, Keith Ligori, thank you both
so
much. Appreciate it. And for more information on Mothers Against Drunk Driving, you can visit mad.org. You can also learn more about Ligori and Ligori Attorneys at Law by visiting callmeonmycell.com. Daytime, we'll be right back.
The preceding portion of Daytime was sponsored by Ligori and Ligori Attorneys at Law and Mothers Against Drunk Driving.